Hey everybody.
Hey.
Well, this is good. We're not going to have a webcast next week.
No.
So today we're going to talk about Office, kind of how you can track Office updates.
Yeah, hotfixes.
Yeah, it's a question that we've had, and especially since two versions ago of inventory, we started in the hotfixes scanner grabbing the non-OS hotfixes. So we just wanted to call it out, but we're not going to have a webcast next week. So if you have any questions, even not related to Office updates or anything, just throw out.
We'll do our best to answer it for you.
And I see a couple of questions in the chat window I want to get to. So
anyway, I got to tell you guys, we did a lot of research on this yesterday, which basically meant we drank a bit. And,
I don't know. I don't know how it goes. All right. So do we want to start with a question at all, or just show?
Yeah, sure. Let's throw up this one here.
First question of the day goes to Nate B. Congratulations, Nate B. Number one. You're number one. Will there be an update soon to allow using PowerShell commands inside of a custom tool in inventory?
Well,
that
if you want,
sounds like a decent idea.
Yeah, if you want to use a custom tool for PowerShell, obviously, what's the matter? If you want to use
Annie apparently didn't want to do this one.
Oh.
So she's like skipping onto the next. But we're already here.
Yeah, we're here. Hey, Nate.
So
You are not Annie approved. Yeah, if you want to do a PowerShell, if you want to do a PowerShell instead of a custom tool, you can still do that. It's just obviously you have to have PowerShell, the appropriate PowerShell version installed on your machine, and then you're just going to have to pass in
the parameters.
Yeah, pass in the parameters that you want. As far as making it native, I mean, I guess we could look at that. A custom tool is really meant to run, a script or an exe or just some utility that you have installed either on your machine or perhaps it's out on a file share somewhere. It's not meant for like one-time command type things. That's where a remote command would come in. As far as the remote command, that might not be a bad idea to have a remote PowerShell command, because the remote command just runs CMD, so that may not be a bad idea.
On the right track there.
All right, what was the next question that Annie?
What's an Annie approved question?
Yeah.
We got one of
Go
those?
ahead and throw the next up. All right, let's do this one.
And our first Annie-approved question, our Brexit viewer from Italy, Massimo. Is it also possible to scan for Office 2016 updates installed with the click-to-run installation?
Okay, so Office 2016 with the click-to-run.
So basically, click-to-run is...
Yeah, click-to-run is usually used with a Office 365. And they have the 2016 version, 2013 version, etc. Yeah, when it comes to click-to-run, there's a great knowledge base article written by Brig that covers the installations of click-to-run. Obviously, you can find the version, the application of Office on there. Updates when it comes to the click-to-run are a little different. Actually, what I've been seeing a lot of people prefer doing is actually deploying in the click-to-run. There's a couple of steps. In this knowledge base article, hopefully there's a link to it that you guys have to Briggs knowledge base article. There's a couple of steps. You first of all, you prepare your installation, you're running the download parameter, and then the configure parameter is what you actually deploy. And every time these new updates, maybe once a month, when there's new Office updates, you can run that download again, and then just deploy that out to all your different machines that have your click-to-run installation, and that will change the actual application version number. And you wouldn't necessarily see those patches in the hotfixes. You would see the version number of that Office change. I'll quickly go to a report. I'm going to do a new. I'm going to go to a. Let's create a new report window here. New report folder. Pardon me.
So a couple of things we've noticed in the research we did yesterday while Shane's doing that. Generally, your 2016 Office, 2013, 2010, they're going to show your hotfixes in the hotfixes, what we found yesterday. 365, though, again, you got to find. Where do you find that one again?
Well, I'm going to show Office. This I know this is 365. Once again, there's different versions of 365. Yeah. I'm going to grab. So in this report, I'm just going to say I want to show all the different versions of that. So we'll say show the computer name as the default. We'll add applications, application name, and we'll do application version.
And just run it against
And
the
let's even just do
Office
application, see if
365
we
collection, maybe?
application install date. I don't know, just for fun. And then I'm going to change the filter to say application name contains Office 365.
Well, couldn't you just click on the 365 collection and run it against that?
Yeah, the answer is yes, you could, but I actually want to show them how to just build this, because what we're going to do here is show all the versions, all
Oh, okay.
right? Because you're still going to have to add all those other columns that you want to view.
good
But it's a
point,
very
good
good point.
point,
No,
good
great
point.
point.
All
All right, so here's Office 365, Ms. Ismo. Center, yeah, sure. Thanks, JJ. And notice that we have a couple of different versions here. Looks like the computer Jen Barber has an older version. So guess what you could do? You could go run your download command again, which is where you basically tell Office install, download all the new installation files to this location on a file server, and then you deploy to that. Follow that knowledge base. Basically, the changes in the command line parameters /configure. You can just push this out to your computers, and it will update the components of Office that need updating only. So it's actually pretty cool. And this version will change. So you can see we've got a couple of the version 16 is 2016, and I believe version 15 is 2013.
13.
So you can see we've got two different versions of Office 2016's 365. Jen Barber's a little out of date, so we could actually deploy that new version to her, and all would be well. She'd just get updated to the latest version. That's probably if I was doing Office 365, that's probably what I would do. I was talking to Brig about it, and he really does know his stuff when it comes to this.
Yeah.
And otherwise, there are ways in your Office 365 management console, if you're the administrator of that, Masismo, that you can specify how different users. Remember, in Office 365, it's all based on the user, how they get their updates, and you can choose the first run, or they're on the bleeding edge of the updates. There's the standard, etc. So, hopefully that answers your question. Now, you want to do the you want to build the hotfixes one? Or you want me to?
No, go right on ahead.
All right.
So the nice thing about hotfixes now, I uninstalled and reinstalled to see if we had any version changes when you did the hotfixes. On 2016, at least, and I think 13, the version number doesn't change, but you do get a list of hotfixes, which is nice. So,
So here I'm just going to say I'm just going to go to hotfixes. You know what? Let's do a quick. I'm going to hit scan. I'm going to scan using the applications. Now the applications scan profile has hotfixes in there as a scanner, so I'm just going to scan these, make sure we get all the stuff up to date. But I'm going to go back to 365. Oh, pardon me, not 365. I'm going to go to 2016. Yeah, no, there it is.
You were there.
I must have duplicated it. So we're going to change that. Here's the Office 2016 hotfixes. I'm going to say computer name, and now instead of the computer application table, I'm going to go to hotfix. And we'll show a few different hotfix things here. We'll do the description, maybe the installed on, something like that.
there you go.
All right. And the filters we're going to look for.
And your hotfixes, you're going to look for hotfixes that have got
I'll say
Microsoft Office
The
in there.
name contains. Well, I'm going to say the name contains Office. I think it's 2016 will probably work.
I don't think it will.
Really?
I know.
Contains?
Let's try it.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
So this is a way, but it can be kind of. I mean, here's the deal. You know, when you're tracking hotfixes, it's not as easy as tracking versions, because hotfixes don't necessarily have versions; they just have KB numbers. So here I can see that the computer mention has these updates for Microsoft Office 2016. As far as those KBs, you kind of have to do that homework yourself to find out what these KBs mean.
Now, there is a link on Microsoft that will get posted up if we don't have it already, that will allow you to go see which ones there are for each version.
That's cool. In fact,
Did we save that one up here?
I don't know. You could always find out. We've got this one. Is this right here? This is the Office. We just Googled
Yep, that
Office.
is it, yep.
Office 2016 hotfixes or something like that, or updates. And you can go out and see these are the updates for Office, and you can import these or download these and then make packages out of them. But honestly, if you're using WSUS, probably recommend doing that,
Yeah.
because there are so many different updates. Just like with Windows.
It is an interesting thing though. Windows 10, you got to make sure if you haven't already done this, that you're downloading updates for other Microsoft products too. Otherwise, it won't actually update this for you.
You do a lot of the stuff with WSUS,
yeah.
and you can just specify those different Office components that you want updates for.
Exactly.
So, do we have any more questions? Otherwise, we could hit some questions in the chat window. Hi, Monica. What's your question? Besides the fact that you like gin, it's a statement.
Marvelous,
question, Jen.
marvelous Monica K. After scanning for updates, can deploy be used to get them to start downloading/installing?
Okay, so when you say scanning for updates, I can see two different meanings of scanning. If you're talking about scanning with inventory, no. There's not a trigger for that where you scan for updates and then start
Kick something off, trigger
But if you're
something.
talking about scanning, like if you use WSUS, there's actually some commands that you can run. WUAU-CLT,
I think that's
the
it.
Windows Update Auto Update Client is, I believe. Yeah, you can actually you can use a remote command, or you can also use a PDQ deploy package to run WUAU-CLT commands. It's
Yeah.
like /detect now, /update now, /report now. There's also a /reset authorization, which sometimes is important. Sometimes you need to do that, but we
Understand this though, it's going to scan for all updates, just not your Office stuff.
Correct.
So it's just going to, it's a blanket, start your updates.
So basically what I would do if I
do it in the middle of the day.
what I would do if you really want to do this and you're using WSUS, I would have a package, create a package, Monica, that ran like I can show you real quick. I might get this a little. I might screw this up a little bit, but
Won't be the first time. Won't be the last.
let's make sure that I'm not smoking crack first of all, and see if that command works. WUAU-CLT
Question.
/detect now. Yeah, okay, that's it. So you can do something like this. Create a command step. We'll call this one, it's the CLT. I'll just do update. Initiate Windows Update. Something like that. Lose that one. And this would do something like, WUAU-CLT / you might want to do reset. I think it's reset authorization /detect now. All right, and then do something like a sleep. Next, you want to sleep. You don't actually have to wait too long, 15 seconds, maybe even 30 seconds. And then another step, and I believe you could do report now. By the way, the reset authorization, verify that. Don't just take my word.
Yeah.
Verify that. But I believe a lot of times machines will lose their,
Token link?
with their token with WSUS, and this is just a way to say, hey, I'm going to be doing some stuff with Windows
Verify.
Update. Let's just sync up right now. All right. Report now, and maybe do another sleep, and then do another command, which would be something like WUAU-CLT /update now, and that hopefully, if things work out well, that if there's updates out there for Windows, it will start to
Pick them up, download them.
So hopefully that'll help you out, Monica.
Again, run that in the middle of the day on people who have low-powered machines. And then turn off your support line. Let them be frustrated.
Do you remember in War Games when Matthew Broderick was talking to that old nerd dude, and and they had the guy that was from he was like in every 70s movie, but he was the geek. He was in Grease.
Oh yeah, okay.
And he was like, "You're giving away all of our secrets. Backdoors and
Backdoor
not
secrets,
Mr.
yeah.
Potato Head." And he was like, he said, "Remember when you told me to tell you when you're being inconsiderate? This is me telling you about the users, Lex. You're being inconsiderate.
Really?
You're pissing off the users." Mr.
But
Potato Head.
I do remind the users.
There was. Do you guys have any other questions? Because there was
Shane's
a few that I
finally
wanted to
having this
hit.
conversation with Lex.
Finally having the conversation. How many times middle of the day I've had to reboot your machine?
Well, I wasn't on it.
Whenever I see
Yeah.
JJ start pouring a scotch, I know Lex did something.
I've been working with his stuff.
No, as long as it's
I wait till he's in the
one right
middle of
here.
a video render, about an hour into it, and then pow.
I kill you.
You kill me.
We got another question if you want.
Yeah, shoot.
Let's take it.
Okay, a question from the Great White North from proud Canadian A. Dear Shane and Lex, you hosers. When scanning Office, is it possible to check the activation status of the install, eh?
I don't know why you never made it into the Strange Brew sequel, man. You know what? I don't know. This may as well be a stump the chump, because...
Consider us chumped or stumped.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a way. There might be a registry value that is set. If so, then you could use a registry scanner for that. But I honestly don't know how you would check that.
Best guess, it's find it in the registry would be.
Yeah, but it could be that if you can find a flag for that, then you can use a registry scanner and then find all the machines that have 2016 or 2013 of Office or whatever, and
Gonna have to
either
Google
don't have this registry key or whatever. But that's what I would that's where I would look. I don't know off the top of my head.
Stumped.
Stumped. Damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I drink to that. So should you.
Cheers.
Here, let me fix it.
Let me fix it.
Let me fix it.
Go ahead.
Hand me your glass.
Wait, where the hell did it go? Here. That's
All right, stumped. Now
all
we'll
right.
drink
Next
to that.
one.
Next question. Am I using AD full sync? I am using. Excuse me, that was not a question. It was a statement. I'm not even drinking. What's
Am
up
I
with
using
this?
AD full sync? Let me check. dudes.
Maybe.
I am using AD full sync. Is there a way to see history of computers that have been removed? Deus Ex King.
No. The closest you could get is in a log file or a log database that we
Yeah.
keep, but it's the answer is no. We don't at this point. We don't do historical. We don't do historical data in PDQ Inventory. So you're doing AD full sync. Props to you for even knowing that the AD sync is out there.
Yeah.
That can be so frustrating when I'll go to a customer and they're full bore, they've been using us forever, but they still manually enter computers as they come in, and then they have to remember to remove them, and they're using Active Directory. So you're using AD full sync, just for those of you.
We'll show you where it is so you can use it too.
Yeah, those of you who don't know what we're talking about, in PDQ Inventory Preferences, Active Directory, there is you can specify containers in Active Directory. A lot of people just use the root container if they want everything. But you can specify, OUs or security groups to grab computers from. You can also exclude some certain groups or containers. And the delete mode, you have
It's important you understand these options here, guys.
the delete mode is import mixed sync. You'll do mixed if you have computers that are not in your sync containers, or they're not members of Active Directory.
So if you had some work group machines or those kind of things, you want to make sure you use mixed.
Or you'll do full sync, and that's full sync is basically saying, listen, all the computers that I'm going to manage are in Active Directory. So if they come into AD, I want them in inventory. If they leave AD, I want them out of inventory. Sorry, we don't do historical data. That's what I'm getting at. We might do that in the future. It would be a little ways in the future.
There's always a debate about it, but it's like how much do we store, and it starts becoming very colossal.
Yeah, it can get pretty big. So right now, sorry. If that really is a concern, what you might want to do is in AD, take your computers that you're going to normally delete and move them to a special container. Either disable them or move them to a different container, an OU or something like that, called excluded or disabled or something, and then you'll always see which computers are in there in AD and they're not in inventory, because you can exclude that container. Don't scan. You can see some excludes here where we're saying include everything in Deadwood except for anything in domain controllers or the CTX OU, stuff like that. That way you could at least look in that OU and say, oh yeah, I've got 30 computers in here. And they're no longer in inventory, but it's not a native feature. Sorry.
What else? We got another one?
Yes, Chase J would like to pose the following question. Dear Shane and Lex, does PDQ have a way of handling disk encryption? When our laptops reboot, there is a login screen that must be passed before the PC even boots. Can admin credentials be automatically entered? The disk encryption hangs up PDQ inventory scans.
There is a login screen that must be passed before PC even boots. Okay, so no, no, and that's actually
Come on, I was trying to think of a nice way to go.
That's actually a good thing. I mean, that's kind of the reason why you have the encryption. So no, once that you've got to have that password to open that computer up. Otherwise, there's no. I mean, all we're going to see.
Backdoor the whole thing all the time,
all we're going to see is encrypted data.
There's generally no silent option for passing.
So no, and that should make it. That should make you rest even more at ease. Yeah, is it more of a pain for you as an admin? Yes,
but data is more secure.
If you could get around that information just by, using some published API from .NET, then that would not be encrypted in any significant sense. So no, I apologize.
That'd be like the door locked with a sign saying the window over here is open.
Right. Well, there was that great Simpsons episode, early Simpsons, where Smithers and Mr. Burns went into the super secret room, and they had to have retina scans. They had to have face imprint scans and fingerprint scans, and they took this elevator all the way down, and they get to the control room, and there's a screen door that's broken and a stray dog that was in there. And Mr. Burns kicked the dog and slammed the screen door, which went to the outside. So. No, I apologize, Chase. It's a good question, but no, you got to get past that screen for that data to be presented.
Yeah.
Another one?
Yeah, sure.
Always.
Well, there was a question that I saw that was, let's see, it was somebody had asked, how can I do a log file to a computer name, right?
We'll try to find it.
It was
Okay,
up there.
well,
The answer to the question: can PDQ deploy? I want to output a file. I want to do the output to a computer name. Now, this brings up a good question. If you've noticed, I'm going to deploy Flash for IE, and I'll just go out here to Costanza.
We're going to answer the question. We don't know what it is.
Well.
Basically, we're trying to put
No,
log files on a different machine,
I remember seeing it earlier. The question was, I want to have a log file of something I run and deploy, but I want that log file to be the name of the computer.
Oh, okay.
So, number one, if you notice, when you deploy something, sometimes you'll see an output log, sometimes you won't. The output log, when it comes to, yeah, sure, go ahead. Can I see an example of using PDQ to install with a log file?
Him as in Shane read it. I love it.
Oh, sorry, I'll just read it. Can I see an example of using PDQ to install, and he's got the redirect, with a log file named the name of the computer using a variable to name the log file. Okay, so if you notice, sometimes you have this output log. We'll only show this output log if there's an output, a file, either anything goes to standard out, STD, OUT, anything that goes to standard out that would normally be shown on the console, we will grab that, or anything that goes to a log file called output.log in the working directory. If you want to change that, you will lose the output here, and I'll show you an example of that. And some things, I think it's a bit with Nursoft, you can't do an output file. But I'm going to go to, if you use an MSI as your install file, we automatically add, I'm going to make this a little wider here and close this up here.
Scoot it that way so we can read the.
Yeah. You can see we automatically add a /log. Sorry? Check my Windows centering. Sorry, JJ. You can see we automatically append a /log. That's an MSI exec command. And then we call it output log. That goes in the working directory. If you want to change that, say, for example, this one, I'm going to click custom. And I'm going to change the log. Now, you don't want to call this computer name in the working directory because that gets all that gets deleted after the deployment's done. We look for output.log and then report that. Anything else gets deleted. So you would want to do something like, we'll just do C output log to C://, and then you're talking about computer name.
Need that backslash, my brother.
Thanks, Bren. Lex is awesome.
Hey,
Oops.
just a warning, you guys. Just be careful with this command line. Custom command line here.
Yeah, you want to use this in rare circumstances. So I'm going to go to C computername.log, and I have the variable in there. So I'll hit save on this, and then I'm going to go out to we'll go to Dunmire, All right.
What a choice.
And now I'm going to open up PDQ Inventory. I'm going to go to the Dunmeyer computer. Hopefully you guys, if you don't know that this exists, now you do. I'm going to open up Dunmeyer, and I'm going to click on, notice in shares. It's cool that it was already open. We've got the $C sign. You can go right there, and there it is, Dunmeyer.log, and you can see that log file. So if the answer to your question,
Yes, you can do it.
yes, if your the install step allows for an output log. So like something like, I think it's Nursoft. Anything that's with anything you have to do a slash uppercase S, like a Dropbox. Those don't allow for
Log output.
But if it's something that this FileZilla one, I'm going to grab one real quick. If it's something that's built with JRSoft, let's see, package library. I'm going to just take a stab at this one and go.
7-zip?
No. We'll do, what was that? What did I just say? FileZilla, I think.
I know.
Let's try that one. FileZilla. You know this. Any command that has the slash very silent slash no
reboot.
yeah,
Right.
anything like that. That does allow for, and I think FileZilla might be one of them. Nope, it's the slash S. PD. I know one that does for sure.
But anyway, those that will allow the no reboot and the very silent also allow the logs. So.
Yes, so I'll do PDF creator. I don't think we've added this one. We're starting to add them. If you see any command line that looks like this, slash very silent, yes, you can add a slash log equals and then the path. So if you wanted to do the output log, you would do something like, CD, which is current directory, output.log. But you could also do computer name and put it in a different location. So it depends on the install.
What was that, JJ?
Follow up on.
We have a follow-up? Okay.
Rock on.
Cool.
Can we have computer name package as well, or is that pushing it? Can we have computer name? Oh, I see. The answer. Okay, so the answer is yes. Okay, I'm sorry. Package.
Package variable?
Well, here's the thing. The computer name, you can see that %. That is a Windows variable.
Yeah, easy one to pull.
Percent package, not that would
Not
be
a standard Windows variable. Yeah.
So that would be a feature request for us to say, to transfer the name of the package down and add that to the local, either add it to the local environment or just track that so that you could reference that. Well, it would have to be expanded, but that right now, not the package name.
What you could do, though, is after the computer name, you could actually put in the package name yourself because it's got to be on the install step level.
That's a good point.
So
the computer
you could
name
do that.
changes, your package name isn't going to change because that's the same package. So you could just kind of
Manually put that in.
Boy, you're kind of a smart guy.
I better drink some more.
No wonder we hired you.
Is that why you hired me?
Yeah. It is not uncommon, though, for people to put a bunch of Windows variables in their log files.
Yeah.
So, and usually delimited by like dots or something. It's a very common thing to do.
Yeah.
Aaron, I'm wondering if there would be an enhancement to be.
You know what? You should let Kelly do his job, man.
Kelly, I'm sorry.
No, you know what? That's okay.
Go for it. No,
It's-
I suck. You're better.
No. I was just going to say, dear Shane and Lex, love your show. I'm wondering if there would
That
be
makes one of us.
an enhancement to be able to pull from other databases for use of reporting. For example, pulling from our existing SQL database we use for asset tracking for reports, aaron S.
Aaron.
Hey, okay, so first of all, to build your reports and pull data from another SQL database, you can import data into custom fields. That you can do.
Yeah, you can do that. It's
But that's
not
from
a
linking
native.
databases?
It's not a native feature.
Yeah.
So what you would need to do is have a report that maybe uses if you have a SQL database, build a SQL report that also imports. So you'd have to have some ODBC or native SQLite driver, but you would then import data from our database. It would be something
the other thing
outside
you
of
could do,
us.
You could do this. You could export from our database and then import into your other database. Put it that way too. So I mean, there's two ways to work that one, but it's not a native feature.
Correct. I guess that's the point we're getting at. There's I know we've got customers that have done something similar. They'll use like crystal reports, and they'll use different data sources, and our database is one of them. But keep in mind, SQLite, which we're using, SQLite does not do well with it doesn't have a locking mechanism because it's not meant to be multi-user.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a bunch of selects, that's fine. If you're doing a bunch of updates and inserts as on the actual live database, while you're doing inventory scans, there could be some corruption there because SQLite is not meant to have multiple instances.
Yeah. We've seen it a lot, so just be careful if you're inserting anything.
All right. Well, you guys, like I say, we're not going to be here next week. Hey, thanks for the questions.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, once again, use the hotfixes. If you're using the Click to Run or Office 365, you can have hotfixes installed, but a great way of keeping up to date is just redeploying Office to computers that need those updates, and then all it does is updates the components that need updating and changes the version number. Refer to Briggs' brilliantly written knowledge base article on Office 365, and if you have any questions, call Brig. In fact, I'll give you his cell number right now.
And the other thing is, enjoy a good gin and tonic later, like Monica does.
There's no such thing as a good gin and tonic.
I will debate that. I will debate that with you.
You would lose like every other debate. Cheers, everybody.
Cool.
We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. And by we, I mean somebody else, not me.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. Today's webcast winner are a proud Canadian and Deuce X King. So if you'll email me at webcast@adminarsenal.com so I can hook you up with that swag, proud Canadian and Deuce X King. We will be not here next Thursday, but we will the Thursday after that. So we will see you guys July 14th for PDQ&A, I guess. So see you guys then.